The aim of this instructional movie is to show the techniques used to perform the Highline and Zodiac procedure to the flying crew of the 40th Squadron Heli, as well as to the ship and boat crew. These techniques can be of a life-saving importance during interventions with helicopters. The following procedures are these used by the 40th Squadron Heli stationed at the airbase of Kokzijde, Belgium, and they can differ slightly from procedures used by other search and rescue units. The Highline procedure is a procedure where the search and rescue diver, abbreviated as SAR diver, throws a line to a ship from approximately 5 meters distance. The aim is that somebody of the sailing crew takes this rope to pull the SAR diver towards the ship. This is especially used with small vessels or ships with a high build-up and with only a small strip available to put down the SAR diver and the SAR medic, and when it is impossible to hover low over the vessel. Because of the altitude of the helicopter, there is a bigger chance of having a swing in the cable, which makes it difficult to put the SAR diver and our medic on board. This swinging can be largely reduced by keeping tension on the Highline. The method used by the helicopter crew consists of 4 steps. First of all, the SAR diver will be winched out from a low altitude, position 1. Next, the helicopter climbs above the highest obstacle of the ship and the SAR diver will be lowered to just above deck height. This is position 2. Then the helicopter moves in until the SAR diver is at approximately 5 meters from the target and he can throw the Highline in position 3. While the SAR diver is pulled in by a crew member of the vessel, the helicopter can move in until it hovers almost overhead the target, position 4. During the first radio contact with the helicopter crew, the ship's crew will be asked to steer a course at which the wind should be at 30 degrees front port side. It is very important to keep that course so that the helicopter crew can winch on the left aft deck of the ship. This is the safest position for the helicopter and for the pilot to keep visual contact with the ship. When the ship has serious damage and, for example, the mast is broken, then it is best to lower the sails and to use the engines with a speed of 5 to 8 knots. Also, when there's no wind, it's better to lower the sails and to use the engine. When a winching takes place, a static line will be attached to the hook of the winch cable. This is a conducting black cable with a length of about 3 meters. Its function is to discharge the static electricity of the helicopter before the SAR diver or medic touches the ground, the water or the deck. Wait for the grounding to happen before you grab the load or the cable, otherwise you will be in for an unpleasant surprise. As you can see very well here, the steersman is continuously busy with his navigation and the course of the ship. This is very important for the helicopter crew. It's getting very dangerous when the vessel starts zigzagging unexpectedly. A common mistake made by the steersman is to concentrate on the helicopter operations and to neglect the ship's course. In any case, do never attach the Highline to the ship nor to yourself and make sure that the rope lays freely. At any moment, the helicopter may encounter a problem whereby the crew must accelerate the helicopter in order to reduce the power needed. In this case, the rope is pulled by the helicopter and must be free to go overboard.
'cause it's clear that the world is a place full of tears, leading you away from the beacons and signs until it reminds you the only thing that you do need is true love. Oh, don't you know it's this life?
A couple of meters from the end, the High Line is marked with a fluo strip. When the helicopter moves that far away, so that this marking comes into your hands, then show the marking by holding it high up and let the helicopter crew know that the end of the rope is near.
For a love unconditionally. When it broke my heart, I just turned the card, 'cause I knew round the corner I would find a dream, leading me away from the rain to the sun. I've been on the run for myself and the devil's inside my nightmare, but I still care for this life. For this life so sad. I've been true to life, always, always to life. Time has been on my side, floated south, drifting on the tide, and I knew when I kept my pride, it would see me true, never make me blue, 'cause it's clear that the world is a place full of tears, leading you away from the beacons and signs until it reminds you the only thing that you do need is true love. Oh, don't you know? 'Cause I knew round the corner I would find a dream, leading me away from the rain to the sun. I've been on the run for myself and the devil's inside my nightmare, but I still care. It's this life. It will come and get you one day. This life so sad. Living inside this world of doubt, I never thought I would make it out, but something inside my soul woke up and showed me a better way. This beautiful treasure.
After the last winching, the helicopter will climb in order to pull in the High Line. When during this maneuver the end of the rope is reached, then throw it overboard, making sure it remains well clear of any obstacles.
Pieces of the puzzle put together by Mother Nature's hands. It's the prayer that has been answered. It's the gift
winching on small vessels like RIPs can be very hard for the helicopter crew. The size makes it impossible for the pilot to see the boat during the winching. This means that winching on a small speeding boat cannot be done in some cases. When the boat is not moving, for example with engine problems, then the winching can be done and the pilot takes a reference on the surface of the water. In this case, there's a big chance that a boat is blown aside a bit by the downwash of the helicopter, so sometimes the SAR diver is winched down into the water near the vessel. A much easier and especially quicker method is called the Zodiac procedure. During this procedure, the steersman brings his boat underneath the helicopter in order to catch the SAR diver on the bow of his vessel. The helicopter takes a steady course, normally into the wind at a speed between 5 and 10 knots. This speed is needed to keep the boat steerable at all times. During the approach to the helicopter from behind, a heavy downwash will be felt. This is normal and is caused by the rotor of the helicopter. As you get more underneath the helicopter, this downwash will decrease because it is blown backwards due to the wind and the speed of the helicopter. When the SAR diver or medic reaches the deck of the boat, it is very important for the steersman to keep his course until the SAR diver or medic is detached from the cable. He should keep visual contact with the helicopter to maintain his relative position to the helicopter. If you want to turn after the winching, turn to starboard if possible, so the helicopter crew can keep you visual. It's obvious that for a procedure like this, the steersman must be experienced and must be familiar with the boat. We sincerely hope that you, captains and steersmen, will never need these techniques during an emergency situation. But be prepared, it can save a life. The helicopter crew of the 40th Squadron, Koksijde Air Base, Belgium.
On the track, walk out the door, try to fade to black, try to remember what it is you've seen. Let it go, be clean. Someone stole the key to your heart and left you nothing but a fool's reward. When you remember what the heart has seen, let it go.